Hi there folks, welcome to our live coverage of the Australian Endurance Championship 2016 for the Watkins Glen 6hr, and I'll tell you now folks, the Class C and Class B have finished their qualifying and we're seeing the final parts of Class A qualifying. But before we get into all the point scores and weather, I'd like to welcome my co-host Adrian Jarvis. Hi Adrian, you excited about this race?
Hi Bernie, hi viewers. Yeah, certainly are here at Watkins Glen today. This is going to be a crack of a race, and yeah, it's just going to be painful on these drivers today. I reckon any small mistake and they're going to find themselves in a world of hurt.
Oh, they certainly are, because the latest news from the administrators is on the 6hr there are no fast repairs for this race or any 6-hour races. For the 12 hours, I think they only get one fast repair from now on, and then for the 24 hours they'll only get two. So the drivers are going to have to be on top of their game from the green flag today.
Yeah, certainly are, Bernie. And we know this track isn't kind to any shenanigans that go on in this race. And trust me, we did have a big one last year, didn't we? At Watkins Glen, and it took out half the field. So if it happens again this year, half the field's going to get taken out, and we're going to see how many people want to hang around and get their cars fixed for the amount of time it's going to take. But yeah, it's going to definitely throw a spanner in the works for some of these guys.
Yeah, that's right. And that big accident, that pretty much happened up at the chicane coming up the hill, didn't it? Up through those S's, and it pretty much blocked that track. So hopefully we don't see that again. The other part that does give them a bit of trouble as well is the exit to the bus stop, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's quite a few, isn't there? You know, we've got the S's obviously, and it's really only a single lane road through there, but you know, a HPD can get around there, a car if he chooses to, if he's game enough. Like you said, the exit of the bus stop is another point where guys seem to have a little bit of trouble. And just starting at the laces there as well, boys can find themselves in a little bit of a world of hurt there. It can get a little bit tight as well. So there's quite a few different areas that the cars can get loose, and yeah, definitely going to be interesting all day long.
Oh, it certainly is, and let's have a look at the weather at the moment, just to see how the track is. So where are we? Here we go. So it's mostly cloudy out there today. It looks a bit twilight to me. Wind speed 10 kilometres an hour. The track temp though 36 degrees Celsius. So it's another hot day out there at Watkins Glen for these drivers, and I guess that's going to affect their handling and quite possibly their tyre wear as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, the hotter temperatures, but not as hot as we've seen before, but definitely hot enough there to give the boys a bit of grief with their tyres. But no, it should be interesting for sure.
Yeah, it certainly should be. And before we get into the point scores, I'll take you through, folks, the top 5 of each class as they stand at the moment. As I said, Class A is qualifying at the moment. Team TTL is sitting on provisional pole with the 132.460. JFF Racing GT Amiga, we just saw them have a bit of an incident on the last corner there. They're sitting in second. Third is Dayco Motorsport, the 101 FSR Dayco in third. Fourth, the 137 Carnet TDR HPD, and then rounding out your top 5 is a 115 Nutters Motorsport Orange. So that's your top 5 in Class A. Looking at Class B, that went to Synergy Sim Racing, the 200. Michael Schreier was driving that car. Then we've got the Evolution Racing Australia Army right behind them. Again, the 226 Evolution Racing Australia second. Third, the 228 Evolution Racing Australia. And fourth, the 223 Evolution Racing Australia. And then rounding out your top 5 is the 230 Synergy Sim Racing. So again, Adrian, it's looking like ERA is extremely strong in Class B again.
Yeah, certainly are. Once again, and what a team. They've been fairly strong, haven't they? Everything they seem to be doing at the moment, doing a great job of it. And making these guys stand up and, hey, look, what are they doing, and getting their stuff together. They're doing a great job. I even believe some of the boys did the 6-hour last night in the blank pain series, so there'll be some heavy eyes out there today.
Oh, there certainly will be, but we saw ERA really stand up that last round, didn't we? And they pretty much dominated the top 5 in that class all race, and it really came down to their race strategy that made the big difference. So we'll keep an eye on that tonight and see if that unfolds in a similar manner. So looking at Class C, ANZ Motorsports, the 398 has started on pole for Class C, followed by the 314 Selby Racing Team in second. So we've got Audi on the first row, followed by Mad Cow Racing Frida, and I know a lot of you will be excited to see that car sitting in third in the BMW. Then fourth will be Delta Simsport, the 399, and rounding out your top 5 in Class C is a 363 Swift Racing. So it's looking like this track is suiting the BMW and the Audi.
Yeah, it certainly is, isn't it? I think the BMW does like this track. It's got a nice few corners here where they can crack through and probably give them a little bit of bonus there. But no, doing all right. The guys doing a great job, and even with the Mad Cowboys, once again, another team that was racing in the Blank Pan Endurance Series early this morning. So heavy eyes there again, I suppose, Bernie.
Yeah, doing the double duty. I'm sure they'll feel the pain later on tonight when the 6 hours gets into the last couple of hours of the race. But let's look at our point score for Class A at the moment. Carnet TDR, the 137, is leading the way with 1,610 points, and it should note we are at round 6, so we're just over the halfway mark of this championship. Team TTL is sitting at 1,570 points, followed by the FSR Dayco 100 on 1,390 points. Fourth is Trends Tasman Racing, the 177 on 1,270 points, and then we have Nutters Motorsport Orange, the 115, and 119 Redback Racing Team, both sitting on 1,265 points. So it's looking pretty tight up there at the front end of this this class.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you know, I know the teams from TDR haven't really won a race round at the moment, but it comes down to their consistency and their points. You just have a look at the points that they've been chipping away there. Not huge numbers, but consistently getting the same points there, and this comes down to instant points, because these guys actually lose points for how many times they come off the track as well. So I think that's what's faring the TDR boys well here at the moment.
Yeah, that's right, and if you have a really bad race, it's going to cost you points, isn't it? Not only pride. But let's have a look at Class B point score with 3 minutes of qualifying to go. Well, the 226 Evolution Racing Australia is leading that on 1,740 points, followed by the 200 Synergy Sim Racing, and they've had a good qualifying, their 200, 1,710 points. Then we've got the 228 Evolution Racing Australia sitting in third on 1,630 points. The 231 Tryhard's DP1 team on 1,350 points. And then rounding out your top 5 is the 229 LMTI entry on 1,195 points. So it's looking like fourth and fifth, they've got quite a bit of work to do, so they'll be looking for a strong finish today.
Yeah, it's like I said, once again, got to try and get your incident points down, and I think that's where TDR showed in the HPDs at the moment. Just keep your incident points to a minimum and come away with a fairly decent finish as well. So just to get that car across the line, it's so hard to do that in these series, but now that these quick repairs are disappearing, the boys have to be aware of what's going on and not trash their cars as what they're used to.
Oh, for sure. And we've seen with Class A and Class B to a certain extent, it all comes down to patience, doesn't it? And they're going to have to be very patient on some parts of this circuit on where they choose to place those cars, because we know the GT3s, well, they don't have the handling anywhere near the HPDs.
Yeah, the HPDs are obviously downforce car, aren't they? They just have that aero package over everything else, and that's why they're so quick. Just the power to weight ratio on those things are so quick, and the aero on them's quite well. Whereas you look at the Corvettes, it's got a lot of power, hasn't it? And a little bit of aero there, but not quite as good as the HPD. So definitely quick in a straight line. Wouldn't be surprised actually, Bernie, tonight that you'll see some of these Corvettes stick with the HPDs down that back straight away if they choose to sort of give them a little bit of speed down the back straight away. But generally not the best idea, seeing you've got a few more corners and you want that grip in the rear end.
Yeah, the Corvette's definitely quick in a straight line, and I guess where they struggle a bit compared to a HPD is the way that HPD just corners. They're like a Formula 1 car, the way they just stick to the road.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think the Corvettes have ABS. They've got traction control, but they don't have ABS, which is a unusual setup in there. But without ABS, they've got to be gingerly getting into the corner, so they're a little bit slower. They're not. They've got to, extend their braking market compared to the HPD and the GT3s. That's where the Corvettes can lose out on a GT3. Is just their braking ability at the moment. But other than that, they're quite a cool car to drive.
Oh yeah, they certainly are. Once they're on warm tyres, that is. Let's have a look at point score in Class C. Well, Mad Cow Racing, the 333, is leading that by quite a margin on 1,640 points. Selby Racing, the 314 in the Audi, is trailing on 1,455 points, so they've got quite a bit of work to do there. Delta Simsport, the 399 Audi, on 1,430 points, and fourth, Blackadder Motorsport, the 367, on 1,425 points, and rounding out the top five in Class C is the 300 Pagny and IRFF Racing on 1,355 points. So Adrian is really showing in Class C that Mad Cow Racing, they're doing a tremendous job there with 3 rounds maximum points.
Yeah, doing a solid job, aren't they? And being a pro team as they are, it's good to see. And I'm sure if they weren't up the top of the table, they'll be asking questions why they're not. But doing a fantastic job, as they should be.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we can see now Team TTL, they're pulling in from qualifying, and they've got pole position at this stage, and I'd say they're pretty safe with that. As far as penalties go, folks, well, this is the first round. We've had absolutely no penalties given out during practice or qualifying, so everyone should be taking to the grid today. So we're just waiting for qualifying to finish up. We can see Nutters Motorsport coming through. Justin Strickland in that car. They're sitting in 8th at the moment as they bail out, so they're pretty much finished. The 118 Redback Racing team, I don't think they're going to get their time in either. So it's looking like qualifying is pretty much done and dusted, Adrian. So I guess we could better get ready to go through this grid very shortly. As far as cars go, let's have a look at how many entrants we've got. Huge field tonight. 45 cars will make to the grid, so that's going to make for around about 90 drivers in tonight's race.
Yeah, pretty big, isn't it? Just goes to show how popular this series is, and why not. It's great to see this multi-class racing here.
Oh, it certainly is, and we love calling it, and hopefully the viewers love watching it. And if anything is to go by the last round, these races generally throw a lot of things out, don't they? Not only strategy, but heartbreak and all the rest of it.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, now that there's no quick repairs for the races up to 6 hours, so they're 4 hour and 6 hour races, there's no quick repairs. And in their 10 and 12 hour races, there's only one, and the 24 hours is only two. So you got to be on the game. And I think the boys are going to find it really hard when we do the 24-hour races with only two quick repairs. It's a long time, and you can get fatigued. So that's going to be interesting when that one rolls around.
Oh, it certainly will, and that's definitely going to be testing the teams out. But at the moment, the grid is forming out there at Watkins Glen. So let's take you through the final qualifying of all three classes, so you can see where your favourite driver will start today. So let's get into this. Team TTL will start from pole position, the 188. Josh Rogers will start in that car. The 104 JFF Racing GT Amiga with Josh Burden behind the wheel of that car will start in second. 101 FSR Dayco Motorsport with Scott Connors will start from third. Carnet TDR, the 137, has Colin Schweck behind the wheel, and they will start in fourth. And then we have the 100 Dayco Motorsports starting out of fifth. Looking at sixth, Tryhards Racing 7, the 133, followed by Nutters Motorsport Orange, the 115, out of seventh. Then they've got their sister car, Nutters Motorsport Green, Justin Strickland driving that, starting out of eighth. Out of ninth, the 118 Redback Racing HPD with Warren Pickering. Bit of news there. Brett Wilson there, he will be taking to the car. Very short stint, because unfortunately he's quite sick at the moment, and we give him a bit of a shout out there as well. Out of 10th, Synergy Sim Racing, the 130. Let's have a look at 11th, ABR Team Simulated, the 1112, followed by, in 12th, the 169 ABR Simulated 2. Then we have the 131 Tryhards Racing HPD out of 13th. Then the 119 Redback Racing HPD will start out of 14th. Then in 15th there's a Tryhards Racing HPD 2 in 15th. Out of 16th, and the last of Class A, is Team VPR, the 166. First in Class B, the 200 Synergy Sim Racing, followed by 226 Evolution Racing Australia, then the 228 Evolution Racing Australia, and then the 223 Evolution Racing Australia. So again, a very strong showing from Evolution Racing. Synergy Sim Racing will start out at 21st in the 230, followed by All Star Motorsports out at 22nd. Out of 23rd, Krusty Demon Racing. 24th, All Star Motorsports. And out of 25th is Tryhards Racing. Out of 26th is Tryhards Racing 233, followed by LMN and Touring International. Out of 28th is Thunder Sim Racing. 29th, ANZ Motorsport. And 30th is Selby Racing Team. Looking at Class C now, we have Mad Cow Racing. They will be starting second in Class C, followed by Delta Sim Sport. Then we have Swift Racing, followed by Oceanic Sim Racing in 34th. Out of 35th is G&T Racing. 36th is Pagny and IRFF Racing. 37th, Blackadder Motorsport. 38th, Tryhards Racing. 39th, Carnet TDR, followed by Arm Racing in 40th. 41st will be Tryhards Racing, followed by Tryhards Racing 3, and then Tryhards Racing 1 in 43rd. 44th is Blackadder Motorsport, then rounding out our field of 45 is Tryhards Racing 5.
Oh, congratulations there, Bernie. I think a round of applause for you there, mate, to get through that field. It's a mean feat to get through there, and lucky we're at Watkins Glen, so you can get through that field while they travel the whole track, which is fortunate for you in this big field at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely tries my voice out, but here we go, folks. We've got Team TTL, Josh Rogers in the car. He will take the green flag for this race. We can see the different classes now spreading out, giving themselves a nice gap. and we will be racing very shortly.
Yeah, exactly right, coming around the second last bend and coming up to the last one, so I'm going to let Bernie take here, but yeah, watch out. I'm sure we'll be all over the place. We'll be trying to cover as much as we can.
Well, we certainly will now. We can see the field getting the green flag shortly, and they're banking up a little bit here, and we're under racing conditions. There was a bit of nose to tail action there, but it's looking like a nice clean start into the first corner here. Josh Rogers on the inside, Carnet TDR. We've lost GNT Racing as they spin out in the first corner. Hopefully they have no damage there.
Yeah, it looks like a lazy somehow there. It's Joshua Burton there caught up in front of the Corvettes there. Let's see how they go as my cameraman's changed back to the HBDs. They went about 3 wide there through the S's, up on the first turn, coming into the bus stop, trying to go there 2 wide. They've settled down a little bit, but yeah, it's going to be interesting back through the pack there.
Certainly as Carnet TDR takes the lead in Class A. They took that going into the bus stop, and Team TTL right on their hammer. But let's jump back through the field a little bit. We can see the 200 Synergy Sim Racing, Michael Schreier leading that class. Then we have one of the ERA cars, well, the first 3, 228, 223, 226 in second, third and fourth.
Yeah, look fairly quiet here as well, Bernie. The boys in the GT3 class here doing a stellar job here. Nothing too untoward that I can see. So depending on how they started their race as well, but doing a nice job here, and those Audis are looking strong already.
Oh, they certainly are. We've got Audi first, Audi second. We have Frieda sitting there in third. They've dropped a position. We've actually got, it looks like Team Delta Simsport leading at the moment.
No, I've got ANZ at the moment. They're leading the way here at the moment. So Kane is in the car at the moment. Then you've got Nathan Hapats in the Selby Audi. James Stevenson in his Mad Cow, and then Matthew Trotman following that Mad Cow. But they're not that far away at the moment, so it's really good to see these cars haven't really broken away at the moment.
Yeah, they're nice and tight there, but it's looking like we've had a pretty clean start all up, apart from that one spin. But it's quite good to see now. They can set into a bit of a groove here and start getting the laps out.
Yeah, nice clean start from the boys today, so it's good to see that no quick repair must be playing on everyone's mind here, and not wanting to get in a situation that they're going to regret for the rest of the day.
Yeah, well, that's right. It makes for a very long day, doesn't it, if you've been in the first couple of corners. But Team TTL have taken back the lead in Class A. Josh Rogers followed by Scott Connors for FSR Dayco 101. So it wasn't Team TDR, I miscalled that. Then we have the 100 Dayco Motorsport with Reece Gardner. He's made a great start in this race, followed by the 137 Carnet TDR fourth, and then rounding out top 5 we have Nutters Motorsport Orange, and Mark Rayner's driving that at the moment.
Yeah, a couple of boys have moved up there. Scott's moved up 1, Reece has moved up 2, and Mark Rayner, he's moved up 2 as well, so good job there from those boys. Just trying to see if I can find out. Yeah, Joshua Burton dropped 11 places from that spin, so started second down into 13th, but making his way back again. He was at the back of this trail of the HPDs, but up into 13th, so not doing too bad of a job there.
Yeah, that's right. It's good there for Brian Borg and the 169 ABR Team Simulated. They've got the 119 right behind them, Redback Racing HPD. Michael Trooper is starting in that car, so let's hope they have a fairly good run. They've had a bit of bad luck in the previous couple of rounds, but let's look at Class B and Boost Juice. Well, they're out in front, aren't they? And Then we have the army of Evolution Racing Australia tracking them down.
Yeah, doing a great job. Synergy Sim Racing here at the moment, got the lead. Nice place to be, obviously, at the start there, and got a HPD up the road there, which is going to be something that they will come across eventually, depending on how well these boys drive the car. So just keep an eye on these first few cars. Yes, definitely a few of these ERA cars there, hunting them down.
Yeah, they certainly are. And then 43 seconds down the road, we have the first of Class C. ANZ Motorsport, they're getting a bit of a gap here. Looks like they've got a gap of about, let's have a look, 2 seconds already, and they're just coming through to complete lap 2 here.
Yeah, and it looks like the Mad Cows jumped into second as well, so moved up. It looks like we've lost we've lost the Selby car there, Bernie, by the look of it. It seems to have had an issue somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just having a look back here on our telemetry, and I can't see any of the Class C cars having an off track, so we'll have to follow up on that. At the moment, though, the fastest lap goes to Justin Richardson with a 1:34.819 in Class A.
Yeah, nice quick lap there using the draft. That'd be where he'll be getting those lap times through the draft.
As you can see, Trent Thomas there. He's keen to make a move on one of the Mercedes right ahead of him. That's Braith Morrow, and it's looking like the G&T Racing sporting a new paint job out there today.
I'll have to catch on to that one. I just want to check to see what happened to Nathan here. It seems strange that it's gone out, but maybe as per normal, my telemetry's not picking him up. Yeah,
we've got him down here in 38th position, so he's just trying to count them at the moment. He's down in about 10th at the moment.
Yeah, just trying to pick up what happened. Like I said, it's just so hard. It's not coming up on my telemetry, which is something that happens. Just not getting all that information, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I couldn't find anything on my telemetry either. So I'd say he's probably had a bit of a spin there and gathered it up and dropped a good 6 or 7 positions in the meantime. Meanwhile, up front, Class A, well, Team TTL, they are really got the hammer to the metal as they're starting now to overtake one of the Class C cars. 2.6 seconds at the moment is the gap from them back to Dayco Motorsport, the 101. So Josh Rogers has definitely thrown down the gauntlet earlier on in this race.
Yeah, and only 5 laps into this race, and the HPDs are going through the cars, and I have caught up to where Nathan had his lose. It was actually in the bus stops, so once again, Bernie, one of those places that we do see them get caught out, so a bit of a shame there for Nathan.
Yeah, it certainly is, and at least he kept the car in one piece, but now that the HPDs are into traffic, well, they're going to be in traffic pretty much all day, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, that's the thing with those HPDs, isn't it? They're so quick, they'll always be in traffic. You might get a breather now and again, but generally you're going to be overtaking cars all day long.
Yeah, we can see him now coming up behind another Mercedes, and just sitting in there, waiting for the move down the outside there, and he'll clear it before the next corner. So good driving there by Team TTL, just not taking any risks at this stage of the race.
Yeah, once again, I think it comes down to the quick repairs that they don't have. I think there, Bernie. I mean, you know, I think it's a good initiative. These guys have got to be a little bit more patient. They can't be over aggressive with their driving anymore, and maybe the last round might have seen the red flag for admin and saying, well, look boys, if you're going to carry on like this, we're just going to put the gauntlet down and you're going to have to drive accordingly.
Yeah, well, the last round had a lot of drama in it, didn't it? It was almost like quite a few guys had left their common sense behind. But it's looking really good at the moment, as we can see now. Team TTL having a look on the inside of the Selby Audi and deciding just to hold its line for the time being.
Yeah, and you can see this is where he's going to get up at the moment. These two GT3 cars are fighting and he's got no way around here, and as he's doing that, the Dayco Motorsports HPD has caught up to him, so whatever lead he had is evaporated. But you know, these are the things that you got to deal with. Now he's got to go around the outside there, and he's going to lose a bit of time there on Joshua Rogers. So it's going to go to and fro. So it's going to come down to when you get the guys and how you get past them, and can you use the slower cars as a pick to give you a bit of bonuses. Getting caught up again, but you know, the GT3 guys are sticking to the line. Yeah,
well, that's right, and they're racing their own race, and
we might have a yellow flag here, Bernie. A 332 looks like it needs a tow, so might be keeping our eyes out on that at the moment.
Yeah, that's Martin Houston behind the wheel of that car, and we saw them in trouble last night, didn't we, as part of the SRA Clubman, so it's looking like that car's going absolutely nowhere. Yep, you're right, Adrian, you called it, we're under yellow here.
Yeah, so yellow car, well it is a yellow car, isn't it? Safety car out, and under our first safety car, which is, you know, this is where we're going to see a little bit more action, I think, now, Bernie. Our first safety car. It's going to be quite interesting on how they restart, because now we've got a few GT3s in here, but I think they'll get the wave around, if I'm not mistaken, because the lead GT3 car is not in that pack at the moment, so they might be able to get around here and we'll have a fairly clean restart.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the ruling is about this, if they're going to clear out the GT3s or leave them in position.
I think they've actually been letting the class cars that are in front of the class leading cars through, so basically the only cars that have been overtaken so far is the GT3 car, so everyone that's stuck, well, the GT3s that are just stuck here at the moment in between the HPDs, I reckon they're going to get wave around and they'll tail on to the back of the line, so they're not actually going to lose a lap here to the lead GT3 cars at the moment.
Yeah, so they'll wave them through, cleanse Class A, as you're saying, and those guys get a get out of jail card very early on, I guess.
Yeah, which is probably handy for the Selby team there, Bernie, too, because having that spin early on, they're stuck in this group at the moment. I mean, they're fairly close. They were quite lucky because the lead GT3 car had not got overtaken yet, which they were closing in on them. So got a little bit of reprieve, and everyone will be back on the lead lap, basically.
Yeah, and it's looking like Class B here. They're pretty much in order. There's no GT3s in between these guys. There are a few up ahead of them, of course, but you know, that's just the way it is for this class, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, multi-class racing, you're going to get this sort of stuff that goes on, but you know, it's the way that race control can get this field sorted, and it's. But there are issues, obviously, as well, hosting this, and they find it difficult, so they've got to work at it. It's not an easy job for these guys, but let's hope that these things will be fixed in the future for the hosted sessions.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of work to do for the hosted sessions, especially multi-class racing, but we seem to say at every broadcast, and we come to the same conclusion. We hope one day iRacing will fix it, and we'll see how we go, but Evolution Racing Australia, let's keep an eye on these guys to see if they decide to bring these cars in to top them up. That's what we saw last time, didn't we? But it's probably a bit early for that, and they're staying out.
Yeah, we saw that in the 8 series that they run in on a Friday night, didn't we? Every chance they had to pit, they did, and I don't think it's a bad strategy actually. You know, you get yourself off sequence, and you know, you could run home on a lighter tank and fresher tyres as well. So you might look like a hero if you can do that. So be interesting. Take some fuel, take some tyres, and off you go again. It's it's a free kick, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and as you said in that Friday night, that V8's the way they did their strategy. No doubt they're going to look at how they can apply that to their racing in the sports cars here tonight. But looking at Class C, well, Kane Fujimiya in the 398 ANZ Motorsports, he did have quite a lead. That's evaporated now, of course. And then Frieda's sitting right behind him with James Stevenson driving that. And a good start there for Matt Trotman. Delta Simsport, well, we saw them strong last night, didn't we? And they actually went to take the win in the SRA Clubman. So a good start there for the Delta Simsport entry.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was to see Alex Pole get a win there last night in SRA, and once again Matthew Trotman, a good member of the team, as we've seen the GT3s there get the wave around as I predicted there. So a few of these GT3 cars are going to get waved around as I see another one coming through. So looks really good this is happening. But yeah, it's good to see those guys doing a fantastic job, and punches them back up again, and the race will be on, especially with James Stevenson now. I've got that little free kick up there to be really close on position 1 at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, isn't it? And getting that kick early and gathering that up, that's got to give you a bit of confidence, doesn't it? Knowing that even if the guys are a lot faster, as we see the GT3 still coming through, that as soon as a safety car comes in, you're going to close that gap straight up.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm not sure. Can't be totally certain of it, but I don't think the boys actually can pit under safety car. I think they've got to stay out under safety car, but once the safety car goes in, then they're allowed to pit. So be interested to see if that's the case here tonight. I think I was reading there on the forum something about that, so not 100% certain. I'm sure might get that sort of information handed to us throughout the race. I'm sure we'll have someone come up for an interview near the end there or what have you, so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, definitely, and I think you might be right there. I think it's to stop cars getting a lap down. I think that was a big issue with pitting under the safety car. There's something to do with that anyway.
Yeah, once again, I think it's whole deal with this safety car and the issues that the hosted session's having, that guys are getting black flags and what have you. So to eliminate that sort of situation for admin to go through and trying to clear these black flags, they're just going to leave it till after the safety car, then you can pit. So, which is fair enough if it makes their job a little bit easier, because it's not a fantastic job by any stretch of the means. And if you think it's easy, I reckon you just give Scott a buzz, and he'll be happy enough to have you up there. And you got to be open-minded and not think about your own team. You've got to be up there and think about racing and as a general. So it's not an easy job for sure.
Yeah, that's right. And there's been a bit of a trouble out there as well with the 336. Scott Nolan was driving that car. They're actually in the pits with quite a damaged vehicle, so I'm not sure if they were involved in that incident with their sister car, the 332. But this car, the 336, has also breached the sporting regulations, so race control's having a look at that and to see what's occurred there.
Yeah, it does look a little bit untidy, and maybe they've had an incident and escaped without asking permission. So, which is something that race control must have have the guys do. So, if you any time that you can't drive the vehicle back and you've got to seriously say, hey, look, I can't drive it back, then you've got to ask for permission off race control. So maybe that's what the penalty's for.
Yeah, it could be, and it's all about simulation here in this fantastic series, and I really like the no escape rule. I think it really adds to the whole racing experience, not only for the drivers but for the spectators as well. And you can see here the safety car lights are back on, so we won't be going green this time by. Again, this is another thing race control does for the viewers at home. If you see the lights go out, it does not necessarily mean they're going to go racing, because race control has to reset the lights every time the safety car goes past the start and finish line.
Yeah, generally they only get 2 laps. I think I was reading there, they only get 2 laps. I think the only problem they had with that was last race that we had at Road Atlanta, it seemed to want to do it a little bit earlier than that for those guys, so that's why we had a few issues there at Road Atlanta, which is the one that I thought everyone was on holidays there, not race control, but more the drivers. So, but yeah, no, it's quite interesting. They're working out ways to try and make it realistic, which is fantastic, and that's why everyone wants to race in this series. It's just a brilliant concept, and they work really hard to get this series the way it is.
Well, they certainly do, and so far it's been a pretty good start to this race, and let's hope it continues. But while we're under safety car, folks, let's take you through the top 5 of each class. At the moment, Team TTL's leading Class A, followed by FSR Dayco Motorsport, the 101 in second. Then they've got third is the 100 Dayco Motorsport. Fourth, Carnet TDR, the 137. And then rounding out your top 5 in Class A is Try Hard to Race in 7. And Justin Richardson is driving that car, and they had the fastest lap earlier on.
Alright, Bernie, I can recorrect myself. I've just heard race control say that pit lane's open, so just keep an eye on the pit lane and see who dives in to see what they want to do.
Okay, so pit lane's open, which means we'll probably be under green for another lap here, because I guess they wouldn't open pit lane and then start the race. Looking at Class B, we have Synergy Sim Racing leading that. That's a Boost Juice entry. That's always a strong entry, isn't it, Adrian?
Oh yeah, it certainly is. Those guys do a fantastic job all the time.
They certainly do. And then we have the 226 Evolution Racing Australia second. Then we have the 228 Evolution Racing Australia in third, and then fourth we have Reese Goldfinch and Synergy Sim Racing, and then we have the fifth, the 223 Evolution Racing Australia entry. So again, ERA very dominant out there at the moment with all their cars in the top 5, but we'll see how the race unfolds. Class C, well, ANZ Motorsport's pretty much been in control of this category since the start, but don't discount Frida. This car generally waits for the race to come to them, and they definitely get stronger as the hours tick down. They're in second. Third, Delta Sim Sport, Matt Trotman behind the wheel of that car. Fourth, Oceanic Sim Racing, Matt Nethercote. So another car that's normally quite strong as this race progresses. And then Next Level Racing, we have Adam Funslow, and he's in a BMW today. So we'll see how they go as this race goes on.
Yeah, Adam Funslow, we haven't been covering too many series that he's been in, and we know he is a quick racer, so keep an eye on him. He does a fantastic job and loves his racing, so good to see as the boys are still wandering around. It doesn't look like we've seen too many takers for pit lane, which is once again, I'm thinking taking some tyres and fuel, you're not going to lose much other than what track position, and being early on, yeah, I suppose HPD's, oh no, we've got someone in, so there we go, we do have a car in, which is, they're going to take some fuel and tyres, which is probably not a silly thing. You're going to lose a bit of track position, but you know, fuel and tyres, throw you out of a different strategy, might work for these guys later on tonight.
Yeah, well, that was the boost juice entry, HPD going in, taking to the pits. Now we'll have a look. Class B looks like we don't have, we might have one of the ERA cars in there, and yes we do. One of the ERA cars are in, but the rest have stayed out.
Yeah, we've certainly got a couple in there. We've got a HPD, we've got a Corvette, and we've got a couple of GT3s in there as well. So just getting service, filling up, throwing some new tyres at it, just getting off sequence to everyone else, which is probably not a silly thing. If this thing does, you know, keep going and no safety cars, which probably doubt it, but you know, it can always help and throws a little bit of different strategy in there, and you never know, it could work in your favour.
Oh, it certainly could. And the cars that did pit, we've got a few more just sitting in the pits at the moment, but the 130 Dave Oliver brought that car in, and I tell you what, it's I don't know about pitting a HPD and Corvette at this time, because these guys are now buried right at the end of the GT3 queue, so I don't know how that strategy is going to play out for them, but it was a 130 that pitted, the 223 Ian Ford in Evolution Racing Australia Corvette pitted. We had the 314 Nathan Hapatz, a Delta, was it Delta Selby Racing Team, sorry, as well as Michael Kaluga taking to the pits in the 355 Tryhards Racing. So we saw what, 5 cars dive to the pits?
Yeah, we've seen a few, and it looks like the lights are out on the safety car, so we're going to get a green flag here, and yes, I do believe we're going to go green here because the boys have done their pit stop, so we'll have a green flag here. But yeah, it's going to be tough for the boys, but I reckon Ian Ford's going to have a little bit of a help there with that HPD in front of him, just to pick some of these cars. But yeah, we're going to have to be careful of those. We might see a yellow flag out again real soon with the way they are at the moment.
Yeah, I just don't know how it's going to work out for them, because all of a sudden you're out of sequence, and you know what it's like if you get caught up between GT3s, you're going to lose a lot of time to Class A and B. But I guess, you know, their strategists have worked out something that we don't know about.
All the time as the safety car is now turning around the last corner, leading this snake onto the start finish straight as the safety car dives in. Do we get the guys going? It's yellow green flag, and they're away again. As you see them spread out down the front straightaway here, 3-4 wide, so they're on it already. And watch out for turn 1 and the S's. See how hungry these boys are. Yeah,
well, Reece Gardner was having a look on the inside, wasn't he? And it's cost him a little bit, I think. He's dropped back, but he's under attack by Michael Hammond at the moment. 2 wide up through the S's here, and a good move there to keep those cars separated.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, those HPDs are easy enough to get around there 2 wide, but I wouldn't want to put many of the other cars through there 2 wide, that's for sure. Get a bit of a handful as you see this whole snake here. This is where you can get another safety car here just because of the traffic, but doing a great job, aren't they? I think they've learned their lessons from last round, and doing a nice job here today.
Yeah, they certainly are. Very high risk there. Looking back at the 130, it's working its way through the field slowly, and Ian Ford is also making his way up through Class C as we speak.
Yeah, they're definitely buried back down here, aren't they? So, but they're working on a strategy. See how now they go. We can see here Dave Oliver getting past a few of these GT3s, but yeah, he's way down, isn't he? So we'll see what happens. You never know, it might work for them, but who knows.
Yeah, well, the only thing I can think of is they're bringing these cars in to top them up to work out some sort of fuel strategy. They're probably driving to numbers, and we saw that, as we said earlier, in the V8 Supercars, ERA did a similar thing, and it sort of really became apparent in the last hour of that race exactly how that strategy unfolded.
Yeah, it was sort of a dominating run by ERA, and that wasn't with that strategy, but you know, not that strategy doesn't always work, and in a 6-hour event they definitely cannot, you know, cannot predict that it's going to work again. So no, we'll see how they go. You know, 6 hours of racing, and we've already done 35 30 minutes of that, so gone through a bit already there tonight, and looking forward to more of it.
Yeah, we just saw there Ian Ford losing it, coming out of the bus stop there. Fortunately, he kept it off the fence, but he's just rejoining now. That's quite costly for that car, as he drops all the way back to the tail end of the field.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hard task to get back through there, isn't it? After spinning and have to work your way back through that traffic again, it's a hard task at the best of time. But when you're back there, it's really going to make it even harder for them to move forward.
Well, it certainly is, and we've seen quite a lot of cars come unstuck at that bus stop in previous rounds. At the moment, out front, Team TTL, Josh Rogers just set a fastest lap, and that is 1:33.847. He's already back out to a 2.5 second gap, as now he's coming up to the first of the GT3's traffic here.
It hasn't taken them long either, has it? Just amazing how quickly they've caught up to these guys.
Yeah, it hasn't taken them long at all, and I can only assume that car came from the pits, because there's not much more traffic ahead of them. But I tell you what, the front three here are spreading out. Justin Richardson, Triards Racing 7, 5.4 seconds down from the leader already.
Yes, I think you're right there. That Mercedes would have been the one that called the safety car out, basically. Oh, we've got a spinner there.
Okay, do we have a number?
Yeah, 132. Oh, sorry, it was 169, and he's having trouble here. He's just spinning all over the place. It's not looking good, and he's lost a lot of positions at the moment.
Yeah, and that's Brian Borg in there. It looked like a team simulated entry, didn't it? And he caught...
yeah, tryhards.
Yeah, and he caught the...
I know, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was going to say, he actually caught the inside fence of that car. Then he spun it again, trying to re-enter. So we'll see if he's got any damage on that car, but he did hit the inside fence pretty hard.
Yeah, not something that you want to do. So he's lost a few places here. He's dropped down 6 positions from the start. So you know, not good for him. If they can gather him back up again and keep pushing forward, they'll be alright.
Yeah, he's got it going again. So fortunately, there's no damage in 18th. But I tell you what, he almost had that car beached on the grass verge there. We could see him spinning the wheels, just trying to get that car moving. Unfortunately, he did get it moving, but it was looking like he was on a bit of thin ice there for a bit.
Yeah, the problem that he's got now is that he's not in a happy mood here, and he's really trying to push this car forward, which is something that he needs to calm down and get his rhythm back and do some nice times, and he'll move back up again for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is when the team managers get on the line, isn't it? And start calming them down, getting them back into that consistent groove again, and letting them know it's not the end of the world.
No, it's early on. Only 30 odd minutes into the race, and he hasn't lost a lap. He hasn't gone down a lap, so he's still on the lead lap. He's just got to concentrate. He'll get back up there. It might take some time, but just need a bit of patience and work his way back through the field.
Yeah, and it looks like we've had our first retirement here, folks. Tryhards Racing 336. Looks like they've called it a day. We actually do have Scott Nolan from that car in the green room. We'll bring him up and find out just exactly what has happened here. Hi Scott, welcome to RRTV. Unfortunately, it looks like your car may have retired. Is that correct?
Yeah, g'day Bernie and g'day Adrian. No, we haven't retired, we've just got a lot of damage there. One of our drivers, Rick, was in the car at the time, and just got a bit surprised by the HPDs coming up behind him, dropped the wheel and put it in the wall there at the final turn. So we're just in the pits buying our time and hope to get back out there soon.
Okay. Yeah, we were wondering what happened to that car because I think we saw it parked on the side of the road, but unfortunately we couldn't get the replay up. So it was, did you actually have contact with the HPD or was your driver just balked?
No, it was probably a driver error. Just dropped the wheel off the ripple strip there on the sort of the second last turn, and just speeding across the track into the fence, unfortunately.
No, that's no good at all, but hopefully you'll get that car repaired soon and you'll get it out. It looks like the 332's also in trouble as well, so you're not the only car out there struggling at this point.
Yeah, it seems like Martin's had a pretty tough start to the race also, which is quite unfortunate. We're really looking for a strong showing from our guys, but we've still got the 331 and the other boys there in the GT3s and the fly the flag, and hopefully they can get up there and battle it out with the Selby and the Mad Cow boys and the ANZ team.
Yeah, that's right. We're seeing Brett Hender behind the wheel of that car at the moment. They're sitting 40th outright, so they're doing a great job. But before we let you go, Scott, do you want to give a shout out to all the sponsors that have made it possible to have all your cars on the grid today?
Yeah, just a big shout out to our team manager, Alan Chipway. He runs the Tryhards boys. He does a fantastic job for all our guys. We've got Motorless Motorsport and also Lone Wolf Motorsport as well that get there and help us out. And they do a great job getting all the paints ready for all the boys.
Yeah, fantastic, and they're looking great out there, those paint jobs, that's for sure. But anyway, Scott, thanks for popping in, mate. Best of luck for the rest of the race, and hopefully you'll get that car repaired soon.
Yeah, thanks guys. This is my first run in the ADC, so I'm really hoping to get out there and get some laps under my belt.
Yeah, no worries. Well, 5 hours, 22 minutes of this race to go, so hopefully we'll see you out there soon.
Thanks, Bernie. Thanks, Adrian.
It looks like that car also, Adrian, has had a penalty issued to them for that sporting regulation issue. They've been issued a drive-through plus maximum pit time plus a 60-second hold. So we'll see how that unfolds once they get their car repaired.
Yeah, we'll see how they go. I believe that was the car that ended up hitting the wall. Like you said, I didn't get back to it, but yeah, they've had an issue there. But we've had a car into the wall. Elliot Durrow, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I probably got it wrong there. For Black Adam Motorsports, car number 368, through the bus stop again. It's a shocking place, isn't it, for these cars? And he's hit the wall pretty hard in that Mercedes.
Yeah, we can see him trying to get that car back to the pits. He's got definite steering damage of that car, rear suspension damage. You can just see it crabbing down here as he's trying to get this car back. We'll have a look.
And this is part of all part of the racing, isn't it, Bernie? You're allowed to drive it back if you think you can. So they're trying to bring it back without a safety car, which is quite commendable for them. As long as they do it cleanly, it should be all good for them.
Yeah, well that's right, as long as it's safe to do so. We're just having a look at this replay. He did have a HPD right behind him and he actually lost that entering the second part of the bus stop, but as you called it, once that car goes around, all you've got right ahead of you is that fence, and we know that Mercedes, once you lose a rear end, it's no coming back from it, is there?
No, you're right. And, that bus stop is quite a funny one. You can get it loose entering it or exiting it, and it's, oh god, sorry about that. Just watching the HPDs trying to get around a GT3, and I believe it was a HPD's teammate, so it was a little bit awkward there. But we're going to see that throughout the race. But it's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that car has got back to the pit safely, as we see the 101 now making its way past Next Level Racing. And they've got quite a bit of a gap, over 7 seconds in fact, back to the 133 Tryhards Racing 7. But this car's having a really strong race today, and it's great to see as he's now making his way through this GT3 traffic.
Yeah, it's pretty tough getting through this traffic, isn't it? It's full on. Good to see the GT3s haven't scouted too much. They have got a few cars put out, but getting their own little battles as per normal, as we see here. Joshua just waiting there a little bit until he could get around and make a move. So good driving there from Josh.
Yeah, he's got a 10-second gap now over Scott Connors, and he's driving smart, as we're now seeing Richardson going around the outside of the sweeper, now on the inside, and it just goes to show how much these cars, how well they can place them, but they've really got to watch these GT3s, because those cars tend to drift a lot on the circuit, don't they?
Oh, jeez, we've got this. We've got 2 GT3 fights and we've got 2 HPDs trying to fight. That was just, as this GT3 goes around as well. And that's just crazy stuff. Just nuts. So that had the TDR car in there. Michael Hammond running for ABR simulated as well. So that was just crazy stuff then.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that on the replay, because unfortunately we didn't have that up.
I must admit they are doing a fairly good job at this at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're definitely getting through the traffic as cleanly as they can, and we haven't seen too many incidents compared to Road Atlanta, but then again, Road Atlanta was a bit of a freak, wasn't it? Even from the start of that race, just the feel of that race was really off that day.
Yeah, it was a weird. Got a HPD going off there, but it was a weird race, and I'll tell you what, if the boys keep doing this like they're racing now, I think we're going to go back to that same situation, which is, once again, I'm sure I'm not going to enjoy it, because I can tell you, I was pretty vocal last time, so I'm sure that's not going to change this time around either.
Yeah, we'll see how we go, but at the moment, Class B, we've had a change for the lead. Evolution Racing Australia, the 226, has got past the 200 boost juice entry, and they're starting to work on getting a bit of a gap. It's out to 1.2 seconds at the moment, so Blake Coppo is driving the 226, and he's looking pretty strong out there, as he always does.
Yeah, no, solid team, isn't it? The calibre in that team is just fantastic, and they do have young blood there. They're bleeding in as well, and you see a little bit of damage, which is fairly common for that C7. Any bumps it sees on the road, it crinkles. It's really weird, but anyway, that's what happens with that car. But yeah, very solid team, plenty of backing behind them, and great with the young talent. You know, we've seen them filter them through and doing a great job, so it's a team to be a part of if you can get in there, that's for sure.
Oh, it definitely is, and they're getting a lot of interest from sponsors as well, which is fantastic. If anyone's wondering what happened to the 100 Dayco Motorsports with Reece Gardner behind the wheel, he's down in 14th at the moment, and the reason for that is he has taken a pit stop of 32 seconds. The other car that's also stopped is the 104 JFF Racing, Josh Burton behind the wheel of that car, and they're in the pits at the moment taking service.
Yeah, that car, what happens, it's got a penalty there, Bernie, so it's got a drive-through penalty and an MPG and 60-second hold, so a little bit of contact with 169, so look, race control's pretty harsh on these boys at the moment, and I think they're clamping down from last round. And oh, we've got two cars around here.
Yeah, I saw in the background there we had a HPD into the side of a GT3, and yes, it was Nutters Motorsport Orange spinning, and that brought one of the GT3s around as well. So it might be a yellow flag if they can't get these cars moving.
You just lost the aero on that. Oh yeah, and got collected by a GT3 car, which is something that you know couldn't avoid for sure. So nothing there that the GT3 car he's trying to turn around, and HPD is going backwards and forwards. So a little bit of comical errors here. As GT3 car just hits him trying to get around. Probably helped him turn around possibly. So yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, well, that is Motorsport Orange has got a bit of damage to that car. We're looking at the replay to see if he gets going. He's sitting on the inside fence just banging it. But before he lost it, he was actually having internet connection issues, and he flashed off just as the GT3 came around the corner and collected him. So I'd say the GT3 didn't see him. Yeah, he's got heavy rear end damage of this car, and he's just trying to get it back to the pits here.
Yeah, I don't think it's really safe to get back to the pits the way he's crabbing around. It's going to cause more issues, and unfortunately car 366 is 336, whatever it is, looks like they've escaped again without permission. So oh look, yeah, look, I reckon those guys should just pull over. I know they're close, but it's sort of not safe for the rest of the cars coming through, is it?
No, he's keeping it off the racing line as much as he can, but yeah, that car's absolute toast. And this is the danger part now. He's got Dayco coming around, and he's just trying to, he's right on the racing line there, and he's just trying to get that car back. Hopefully he'll get it around this corner and get that car into the pits where it needs to be.
Yeah, he got it in there, but yeah, that was risky getting through there. There could have been a lot more carnage. Just saw a HPD there, just balked by him being there. So that's the issue you got, haven't you? Just crawling around and going so slow can cause an issue.
Yeah, it certainly can, and he's got it in there, and I'm predicting that car's going to be there for quite some time.
Yeah, I think you're right. The fast repairs, they'll be sitting there for a while, and up to them what they want to do for sure. But I'd just let it get it repaired and get some racing underneath your belt for sure.
And we can see our race leader here. He's travelling right behind these Corvettes, trying to get past them. He's got past one now, taking the other one on the outside. That looks like a Rat Corp entry. And I tell you what, Josh is doing a great job with this traffic.
Yeah, once again, he got into the bus stop there. It looked like he had the car up on the inside there, but the Corvettes didn't yield. Oh, a little bit of contact there by the look of that. But yeah, no, but it didn't yield, so he had to back out of that, unfortunately. But doing a great job, very patient, so it's good to see.
Yeah, it's definitely working for him because he's got this gap now out to 17 seconds. And, you know, so he's not only being patient here, as he's right behind one of the Logitech entries there, and he gets through. But he's not only getting through the traffic patiently, he's actually getting a gap on these guys.
You know, it's good to see. You know, it's not like he's overdriving the car, so every chance he gets, he makes full advantage of it. And yeah, sure, his lap times will be suffering for it, but you know, they're not getting it as worse as second place, which is, you know, what can happen. You know, you win and lose, so doing a great job, right, as far as I'm concerned. And you know, like I said, I think the racing is a lot better than it was last time.
Yeah, definitely. And second at the moment, the 101 Dayco Motorsport entry. That's a new entry. I don't think we've seen that car around that much, but they've got quite a bit of a gap over third. Their gap's 11 seconds back to third, and they're behind about 16 seconds at the moment. So yeah, a lot of buffer around this car at this stage.
Yeah, we get that with these drivers, don't we? We just see, like, it's just phenomenal drivers out there in these HPDs. They just can do so much with them and just get out there, can't they? So doing a fantastic job. And like I said, you can win a championship by not being the fastest driver. You just got to be the sensible driver. And I think what a race control is doing here is trying to make these guys more aware of what they've got to be and hone their racecraft.
Yeah, well, that's right. They're basically creating a premier sporting event here, and they're really telling the drivers they've got to step up their game to be part of it. But they've definitely done that this round. Third, Tryouts Racing, they've got a bit of a gap as well. Only 3 seconds though, back to the 118. Redback Racing team with Warren Pickering driving that car, so they're having a lot better run at this stage of the race. And then fifth, not too far behind them, is Carnet TDR with Colin Schweck behind the wheel.
Yeah, a couple of good teams there, I reckon, Bernie, doing a great job. And you know, I see Redback Racing get into trouble not on their own doing most of the time, so good to see that they're up in fourth and pushing away, so they're doing a great job. And good to see TDR doing a good job there once again, leading the championship by just being consistent, keeping those incidents down, so that's helped them out a fair bit. But yeah, no, it's good racing. The boys have settled down, but I think what race control here is showing the teams that, you know, the calibre of racing should be high, and maybe eventually, I'm reckon that maybe next year they might step it up again, and I reckon these quick repairs might be disappearing next to all gone, other than maybe the 24-hour, and give them one for a 24-hour race. Wouldn't that be exciting to see?
Oh, it certainly would. And from what we've heard with race control keeping those fast repairs in, that what they're trying to do is they're trying to give the guys a bit of leeway in case they are involved in an incident that's not their fault. They can use that to get that car repaired, but they don't want the teams relying on those fast repairs and driving recklessly, knowing they've got so many up their sleeves they can use.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that they're on about is not so much if they were taken out by a reckless driver, it's more like a netcode thing, which we all know that can happen in this sort of racing. So generally it's to do with that sort of issue, not just because you're taken unfairly, which is something happens throughout racing and you just don't get a quick repair, do you? So basically it's for netcode that there's something that shouldn't have happened in real world.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how race control enforces that, if they have to ask permission to use a fast repair in the future or not. That would be an interesting way they could police that. The 104 FSR GT Omega Racing, they've had a penalty. They've had contact with the 169 and they've been given a penalty for careless driving. So they've got a drive-through maximum pit time plus 60-second hold. So that's a bit of a blow for that team.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's some a fair bit, hasn't it? But once again, race control is pretty tough on these guys and wants them to pick up their act. So it's going to come down to their racing craft. So you want to make sure the boys are doing the right thing out on the track.
Yeah, that's right. And these guys have served that penalty. 136 seconds was the total stop of pit time, and that's put them a lap down. But you know, it's not game over yet. We've seen cars come from 3 laps down in these long races and get back up on the lead lap.
Oh, exactly right. You know, I think a good one was actually the lead car at the moment, 188. They were a lap down and they raced their way back towards front. I think they were actually 2 laps down there at one stage. So definitely not impossible. I mean, yeah, okay, 188 has definitely got some talented drivers in there, but you never count yourself out. The safety car might help you out. Once again, you know, if you're in front of the lead car and the safety car comes out, you sort of get back around and in front. But yeah, it makes it hard today, but it's certainly doable for sure.
Yeah, that's right. And Class B, Blake Coppo's still leading that class, but Synergy Sim Racing's just keeping him in view. They're probably about 5 car lengths behind at this stage. And then in third, you've got the 228 with Simon Feigl behind the wheel of that car. So nothing's really changed down here in Class B.
Yeah, once again, nothing to sneeze at here with Michael Trail behind the car at the moment. He's quite a quick driver as he's coming up to, I believe it's the lead C-class driver at the moment, and as he's getting the HBD round him up and then trying to round up the lead C-class. We'll see how this goes. Gets around it comfortably, and then Michael should follow the HBD around with no dramas, obviously. But yeah, no, it's good to see it. I think they're just keeping themselves, pacing themselves, keeping their own race to themselves, and we'll see where they end up at the end of the race, which, you know, they're generally there at the top step anyway.
Yeah, generally they are, aren't they? And Class C, you're right, we've had a change in the lead down here. Frieda from Mad Cow Racing has taken the lead from ANZ Motorsports, and they've pulled a gap out of 1.6 seconds.
Moo! I'm sure I've made all the Mad Cow supporters quite happy with that one, but yeah, no, it's once again just pushing away there. The talent there in that car is just phenomenal, isn't it? And nothing to take away from the talent in the ANZ car, but we just know James is a brilliant driver and just pushes that car, and same with all the drivers in Frieda and the Mad Cow Racing team as a whole. Yeah,
well, that's right. And this car, you know, we see it week in and week out, don't we? As the race progresses, this car generally gets up to the front, and from there it's pretty hard to pull them back in again.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's one of those teams that are just so solid, and races so hard, but fairly, you know, and that's why they can get up there and get these wins. Now and again, a little mistake might creep in, and you know, that's what happens in racing, and you know, they'll struggle, but generally on the whole they do a fantastic job and has this car up at the pointy end.
Yeah, they certainly do, and it looks like we've got another person waiting for an interview. and we'll bring him up. Did you want to have a chat with him? They're from the 363.
Yeah, we can have a chat with 363. Just have a look. Oh, it's Swift Boys. Yes, we can have a chat to those guys, that's for sure. Hey DJ, welcome to the RRTV spots. Great to have you boys up here doing a stellar job out there in the last few rounds, and doing a stellar job again today in that BMW.
Cheers boys, good to be here, good to be back. I had to miss last race, and so did Joel. He was out in Narnia for work, and I was sitting on a boat for 8 days, so we left it for the other boys last round, and they came in with another good result. So we're chasing a third podium in a row today.
Yeah, I think it was a good round to sit out. Personally, if you ever watched the broadcast back, I was a bit vocal on that one, but no, it's good to see you boys doing well, and it's good to see the consistency coming out of this car, and it's just fantastic to see that you're out there and making this the improvements that you have over the few rounds that you started, especially from Daytona.
Oh, exactly right. We like to think of ourselves as sort of a mix between the bad news bears and the little engine that could. We've come a long way since Daytona. It was I think everyone knows how badly we went. But we're coming through now and putting down some times like FP1 and FP2 for this round. We were fastest and then second fastest in the GT3 class. We won't mention the mad cows we were in the session, so okay, we'll just ignore that. But we still did well. We were pretty happy with it, and we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, and the bad news is, if the viewers don't know, it's actually the Brisbane Lions. Back then they were the Brisbane Bears before they got joined with Fitzroy. So there you go. I know a bit of AFL, and I'm not a mad AFL fan, but yeah, no, you're doing a fantastic job, and it's good to see. We like having teams up here and talking about how well they've progressed, and once again, you've had your help from Mad Cow, and obviously now you're out there doing it on your own, which is amazing sort of feat there. As I just said, a little bit of news there. 368. You want to check on that car there, Bernie? I'm not sure. There might be a bit of issue with that one at the moment.
Yeah, it's actually up against the fence, would you believe? And not going anywhere, the 368. That's Blackadder Motorsport again. That car's been in a lot of trouble. They've just exited the car, and we're under yellow again, guys.
A second yellow flag, second safety car, so not too bad. I mean, I thought it might have been a little bit more hectic than this, but not too bad considering we just had a few guys just looping in at the moment. And it's not the HBDs. Oh, hang on. There is a HBD involved in this actually, so there might be a bit more into this, Bernie. If you go back to the replay, yeah, there's a bit of a contact here. I just wonder which HBD that was.
Yeah, we've got the replay up now, super slow-mo. We've got an ERA on the inside, and it looks like one of the Nutters Motorsport Orange might have been involved in this. Yeah, it was Nutters Motorsport Orange spun around the Blackadder Motorsport. Oh, both of them heavily into the fence, and that's what's brought out the yellow.
Yeah, I think a bit of an ambitious move there from Ben there at the moment. I know it was out wide, but you're asking for trouble with the GT3 out wide and not looking too stable. And he wasn't far enough up in there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they get a penalty for this as well.
Oh, I think they will. There'll be a careless driving penalty handed out for that. And unfortunately, that Blackadder Motorsport, the 368, that car has been in the wars today, hasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has. And DJ, seeing you up here and we're so close to pitting, I'm sure you guys must need to pit soon. How are you feeling at the moment? Because you've got to wait until this safety car goes through. Are you right for fuel? And if you're not, tell the guys to turn to map 6 and you should be able to run under the safety car and not use as much fuel.
Oh, I'm not going to lie, as soon as I saw that yellow flag get thrown, I started scrambling to see what we were sitting on for fuel and all that. But you know, I think we're sitting pretty okay, depending on sort of how quickly we get to the pit window. But I'm quietly confident. Let's say that.
Yeah, I think a little insider secret, those W's have a map button 6, so if they toggle through their black box they can get to map 6. It should run nice and lean while you're under safety car, so you can actually save a little bit more fuel, but don't tell anyone I told you that one, alright?
Alright, we'll keep that one between us.
Yeah, no dramas. Well, what's the race strategy for you guys? I mean, every hour or roughly every hour? Without divulging too much for you guys?
Pretty much race strategy for us is just stay out of trouble with no fast repairs. You know, if you have to sit in your pit box for too long, you're immediately out of contention. Like, you know, it is a long race, sure, but you know, you just got to stay out of trouble both on the road and yourself and with your passes and all that. But with everything else that's going on, you know, we've got 4 on the team, and we're all sitting there and we're all looking at different parts of the track, just making sure that if something happens, we're going to stay clear of it, because we can't afford to take a 10-minute repair from getting caught up in someone else's accident.
That's fantastic, mate. That's something that I think Bernie and myself would commend you on, to have that many guys being there. I mean, it never hurts to have that many eyes out there on track, and especially in an endurance round. I mean, it's always good. You have someone that's controlling the car at one time, and then the other guys are out there keeping an eye on what's happening, which is really cool. So you're going to have another one doing numbers as well. So it's really cool to see that you boys are really into this, and it's fantastic to see. And I suppose that's the level of this racing should be.
Exactly right. You know, we learned our lessons early on, and we knuckled down and figured out who needed to do what. That's why I sort of took a step away from the driver's seat, and we found Josh. I didn't feel confident enough to be able to keep the times up with the guys, but I like telling them what to do. So, I sort of took a step back and figured, I'll try and do as much of this as I can. Eric is an absolute wizard with setup, so he spends his time dialing it in, and Joel and Josh and Eric, between those three, we've got, as we've shown in the last 2 rounds, we've got a pretty competitive team now, so it's onwards and upwards, and we're just still going to aim for that pointy end.
That's fantastic. It's good to see that people are looking at where their strengths are, and it's fantastic that you guys are figuring that out. And, I mean, to come away from Daytona to now, it's definitely shown that the thinking in that team is there, even though it is serious, but you're still having a fun, so that's good to see. And we're enjoying seeing you guys doing so well in this series, and as you're enjoying it, I'm sure we'll see you come back next season and have another crack. I know we're only halfway through this season, but I'm sure you'll be back, and that'll be great to see.
Oh, absolutely, we'll definitely be back next year. We're a little bit disappointed. Joel just missed the cut-off for the paints for the race today. Where there are a couple of new additions to the car that we just missed the deadline on, so you'll have to keep an eye out for them next round. But we'll definitely be back next year. We're sort of trying to figure out a sort of a map, a way that we can get ourselves into the BES series as well, the Pro Series with the cows. We're not just aiming for coming back here next year. We're aiming for bigger and better things. We want to be better. We just want to get there, and we want to do whatever it takes, and still keep it fun.
Yeah, awesome, mate. That sounds fantastic. And all you race fans out there, keep an eye out for this team. It sounds like they definitely want to move forward. So it sounds like they're a team to be a part of. If you think you've got the capabilities, whether it be driving or a numbers man, a good strategist. I mean, that's another good key to have. So I'm sure you boys wouldn't mind a couple of extra new guys in the team.
Oh, absolutely. We're always on the lookout for anyone that we think could fit in well with us. You can find us pretty much in most of the weekend BES races, hopefully online, or you can hit us up on Facebook. Just search for Swift Racing. I'm pretty sure we're the only one. So get in contact with us. We have a bit of fun. we love the racing, and we're pushing forward, onwards and upwards, as I've said about 300 times already.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, before we let you go, I'll get you to put a shout out there to all the boys who may have done already, and I don't think you've got sponsors at the moment, which is a shame. So, but a shout out there, mate, and we'll let you get back to be managing the team, and we'll see you on track.
No worries at all, fellas, and again, thank you guys for what you do. The coverage is phenomenal, and it's just great to be able to, A, sit back and watch, and B, have a chat to you guys. You guys love the racing, we love racing. It just works. So, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the boys in the team. Eric, Joel, Josh. Shout out to the Mad Cows fellas as well. They've helped us in the past, and we're coming for them. So don't get too comfortable, boys.
Well, Adrian, that sounds like Swift are throwing down the gauntlet there, so we'll keep an eye on that, definitely. While you're doing that interview, there's been a couple of things under investigation. Of course, the 115 Nutters Motorsport Orange is under investigation for contact with the 368. That's what's brought the safety car out. We've also had Synergy Sim Racing, the 230. They're under investigation for entering a closed pit, and we're waiting on race control to let us know what those penalties will be.
Yeah, some of the boys haven't caught up with possibly there, Bernie, for the 230. Not like you'd probably told them that the pit lane was entered, but I think there's a sort of thing in the rules and regs that you must be told that the pit lane is open, so you don't get a one up on anyone else. So obviously they'll get a penalty when it goes green, which is a bigger penalty than if they waited until it went green. But they might have been out of fuel actually, so we're pretty close. Like we're at the hour mark, so boys are definitely pushing these fuel if they haven't already.
Yeah, well, after last round, that did have a lot of discussion about a car that was penalised that did run out of fuel and didn't come into pit. And at the end of it, it's basically if you're going to run out of fuel, sometimes it's worth breaching that regulation to get that car into the pit than it is to be sitting out on the track waiting for a tow truck. So the drivers are aware that sometimes they do have to breach the regulations because they've got no other option.
Well, that's right. I mean, look, if you're running close to your pit window, you never know when these safety cars come out. So if you're close to that pit window, you're better off trying to come in, 3 laps earlier. They know about this now. There's nothing new. They come in and pit, 3, 4, 5 laps beforehand, and like you said, sometimes it's best to come in if you really need to pit. Just come in, pit, take the penalty, probably at the end of the line, and no big drama, and you've got to work your way through. So, like you said, if you stop on the track, you get your tow penalty, and then you'll get another penalty possibly on top of that. So, it's probably better to take the penalty going through and filling up when you're not supposed to.
Yeah, and that's exactly what was said in the conversation about fuel, was that on these long races it's good to keep a buffer of about 3 laps in there, so that if you do go under yellow, you do have enough fuel to keep you going until the pit window does open. And race control make no apologies that if we're under yellow and you run out of fuel and have to get that car in and breach a regulation, it's not their problem. It's an issue with the team and the strategy they're running, and we've seen that. And drivers are sort of, as these races, the more they race, the more experience they get, and the more they'll learn from these things. But I'm not saying that that's what's happened to that car, but I'm only guessing that they might have been very close to the window.
Well, Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, we're only spectating as much as the spectators are, aren't they? We'll have a speculation of what's going on, and that's probably what happened. They didn't read the regs or what have you. So we don't know. We're not 100% certain. We're just guessing on what can be happening, and we play this out just like everyone else. But no, pit lane's open now, so obviously everyone went past the pit lane there, and they can now pit and let them slip a little streaker there to the Swift boys with a BMW. I'm pretty certain there's a map number 6 on there in the BMW. You can turn that for safety cars, so you're not actually going to burn a lot of fuel, so they might actually help them when they go to pit. They won't actually fill up as much fuel as well.
Yeah, when you were telling him that, I was thinking just as well we're not in Formula 1, because I think that's a regulation in the driver coaching or something, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not the team manager. I'm a commentator, so I can get away with it. They won't get breached then.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if they've tested that rule, if commentators start telling teams what to do, but at the moment Michael Schreier in the 200 is leading Class B. The 228, Simon Feigel's now back in the second position, and then we've got the 205. Who's that? That's Krusty Demons Racing. We haven't seen much of them today, but they're finding themselves now up into third. Fourth is Cody Bird in the 217 All-Star Motorsports, and then rounding out your field of 5 is the 231. So we've noticed the ERA guys are slowly fading in Class B at this stage.
Yeah, I wouldn't say fading thing, I would say pit stopping, and if they pit stopped before the safety car, they're in the catbird seat here to take over. And I can tell you right now, looking at the numbers, Synergy Sims in, all these guys are coming in. This is a crazy pit stop, and looking at Evolution Australia, they don't have to stop, so where that's going to put them at the moment.
Yeah, well, just about the whole field of Class A and B are in, and I guess they're running really close to their numbers, so they've all coming in at the stage. And I tell you what, that pit lane is absolutely full of cars.
I bet you it is, and it's going to be a madhouse now to that pit lane for sure. So yeah, it's a crazy time to be in that pit lane, and it happened around that hour mark, so yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and we'll see where all this unfolds. But Dave Oliver, he's where is he? He's actually in second now. He was one of the drivers that pitted out of sequence last time through, so that's worked for him this time through, but he is off sequence.
Yeah, and Josh Rogers at the moment, I just need to pick up where he is, so he'll be down the order here at the moment. I just need it didn't fare too bad. He's in third, and he's a quick driver, but depending on how much traffic he's got in front of him, so all the cars in front of him obviously have pitted, and he's got to try and get through that traffic, but he's been doing a stellar job here today.
Oh, he certainly has, and no doubt he'll continue with his strategy of just taking things easy as he's overtaking. He does have quite a lot of cars to clear though, so looking at our leader is Nutters Motorsport Green, Justin Strickland. They did not pit, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them coming in very shortly. But Synergy Sim Racing with Dave Oliver behind the wheel of that car, they're off sequence, but they are second. And then of course we've got Josh Rogers a long way down in the traffic. Kurt Stenberg in the 101, so he's now jumped into that car. And then rounding out your 5 is the 100 Daco Motorsports, Reese Gardner. So it looks like Reese is double stinting, but we know those guys like to go deep into their drive stints.
Yeah, I think you see a lot of teams now. They at least do a double stint to just keep the driver in there. It seems to work. Less time in the pit lane as well. So you know those few seconds in the pit lane do count for something. So obviously they hold them in there for the extra stint, save them a bit of time. As I do see another car going in pit lane, which is Nutters Motorsport, so they've given away their first position at the moment, but obviously they did need to stop. I mean, it was silly if they didn't, but maybe they should have pitted earlier. They wouldn't. I think they might get buried here at the moment. It was crazy not to pit earlier.
Yeah, and the other car that hasn't pitted, that's now at the lead of the train, that's VPR. Matt Menzies behind the wheel of that car. They're the only HPD out there that haven't, so we can expect them to come in very shortly, I would say, unless they're doing something other people aren't doing. And safety car lights are out, so we should be going green this time through.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they think they were going to get a wave around, but the problem is that they were behind the leader of the class at the time of the safety car, so they really don't get a wave around. They are where they are, so they needed to pit it when everyone else does. So this is a bit of a faux pas by them, isn't it? Really. So unless they have pitted at some, have they? No, you said they hadn't pit. So yeah, no, they haven't. So these guys are in a world of trouble at the moment.
They certainly are, because they're going to have to pit under green, and that's going to cost them a lot of time. Looking at Class B, Evolution Racing Australia is leading that. Blake Coppo back in the lead there. Michael Schreyer for Boost Juice Synergy Sim Racing second. Third, Simon Feigl for ERA in the 228 third. Then we have the 218 All-Star Motorsports, Jason Gillespie in that car, and then we've got their sister car, the 217 with Cody Bird. So All-Star Motorsports fielding two cars, and they're in the top 5 at the moment.
No, good job there at the moment. The strategies work for them, and they're up in where is it, 3rd and 4th at the moment, so not too bad. But got Ian Ford there directly behind him as well. So you know, they're going to have to be careful then, but still a fantastic job there by All Star Motorsports.
Yeah, it certainly is. And then Class C, well, that's being led by Pagney and IRFF Racing. Brett Garitas behind the wheel of that car, BMW. We haven't seen much of them today, but they're leading. Then we have Selby Motorsport, Nathan Hapatz driving that car in second. Third, 398 ANZ Motorsports, Jared Filsell. And then Frieda is down in 4th at the moment for the 333 entry. And then rounding out your top 5 is Oceanic Sim Racing with Marty Atkins behind the wheel of the Audi.
Yeah, it looks like they're having a bit more fun, as it looks like the VPR guys are going to follow the safety car in. Yes, they're going in, so they're going to get their pit stop done now. As we're waiting green flags away, we'll see how they go. There's a bit of a break there between some of these cars, which is a bit not really nice there, but as they're backed up, you can see them coming down the main straightaway. Nothing too untoward at the moment, but they're doing a great job, 3 or 4 wide down the main straightaway.
Yeah, there was actually contact there. The 130, Dave Oliver, ran into another HPD. Fortunately, they both managed to correct that car and no one else ploughed in. But very close call there for the Boost Juice entry.
Oh, is it too wide going up through the S's? Oh, 335. Manny, we need to go back and see that. It looks like they've requested a tow, so we'll be under safety car again, possibly.
That's Tryhards Racing 5. Let's go back and see exactly what's unfolded for these guys, but they're absolutely going nowhere at the moment. Eric Kaluga was in driving that car.
Yeah, and geez, I tell you what, poor old Joshua Burden at the moment, he's not having fun here. He through the bus stop there, he got spun around, or he spun around. I'm going to have to check to see what happened to him, because while you go and check to see what happened to 335 though.
Yeah, I can't actually get it up there on... We'll try once more, but I just can't get the telemetry up of what's caused this incident.
Okay, and the other one that we've here at the moment is... Oh, okay, there's going to be a little bit of issue here. It's got Joshua Bird. It's actually got a rear-ended here by Warren Pickering, so I can expect to see the red pack car going in for a penalty there, Bernie. It's not looking pretty.
That's no good at all. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Michael Schreier was also in a spot of bother at this restart, as we can see guys diving all over the road, and we'll just see what happened to him. Yeah, he's had to go onto the grass there to avoid a GT3 as they entered the bus stop.
Yeah, got a little bit messy there, which is going to happen. We can't express enough the safety car safety car rules here in racing, so it's going to happen no matter what we do, whether it be real world or our e-sport here. So it was just crazy with that many cars in the pit lane. People had stopped early and got their pit stop through, so we had a mix of GT3s, HBDs and Corvettes. So yeah, definitely a full-on start here, and it wasn't a big one, Bernie, but still it was brewing, wasn't it?
Certainly was, and we're just having a look at this replay with Josh Burden here coming into the bus stop. We had Warren Pickering behind them, lots of traffic in front of Josh. It looks like Josh has checked up, and unfortunately Warren's found the rear end of him and spun him around.
Yeah, so unfortunately we'll see a penalty go there to the Redback Racing team there, which is something that they didn't need. They needed a good run here, and just something like that can put a payer wave to not getting the results that you need, and something that this team needs at the moment, Bernie. They've just been struggling for that, haven't they? It's not a bad team, it's a fairly solid team, but it seems that they're not getting the luck going their way this season.
Yeah, I think they're having a few mistakes going on out there, which is costing them a bit. They just need to get that consistency back. They need to I don't know what it is. They've got to do something different, that's for sure, and try to stay out of trouble, I guess. But we've also had Crusty Demons Racing, the 205, for a communication breach. They're under investigation, as well as the 169 are under investigation for jumping the start, the restart. That's ABR Simulator 2. So race control, they're busy up there. They've got about 8 cars at the moment that are under investigation.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Bernie, I mean today, just looking at the racing, we've been racing for an hour and a half, roughly. Just have a look. Yeah, an hour and a half. I think the boys have been fairly well behaved today, and I don't know whether I was given a good old spray last round, or the spray that was going on in the forums, but no, they seem to have settled down here, and it's good to see. And I must commend them, because the penalties that we've got here at the moment in the log are not that many. You know, we've got one here for escape permission, which is fine. So we've got 3 here with escape permissions. We didn't start off with any penalties, so everyone entered the practice races correctly with the right numbers, which is really good. So the boys are starting to get on to it now. So out of today, we've had 3 that weren't penalties, but looking at the numbers, so we've only had 6 penalties today. So and they're not committed yet either, which obviously they will have some sort of penalty, but that's a lot different to last week. I can tell you that penalty count was right up there last round. So I think the boys are doing a better job today.
Oh yeah, they definitely are. It's the race just feels a lot more controlled, or I think they've all put their angry pills behind them, which is a good thing, and driving a bit smarter. But we've got Scott Connors down there. He's from the 101 Dayco Motorsport, so I'll bring him up and we'll have a chat with him while we're under yellow.
Yeah, sounds like a good thing, and I'll check on the viewers' comments at the moment. So don't worry, viewers. I am having a look there. I'll get to it when I can. It gets a little bit exciting up here and get a little bit carried away.
Yeah, so while Adrian's doing that, we'll have a chat with Scott Connors. Welcome, Scott. It's looking good for the 100 and the 101. You guys are sitting in 4th at the moment. How did your driver stint go, and how are you feeling about where this car's placed at the moment?
Yeah, we went all right. The start was a little interesting. I think Rogers was playing a bit of games with his brakes there, and caused a bit of mayhem, but I made a mistake in the second lap, which got him back in front of us. But after that, I just ran my own race and just took a bit of cautious. There's no partial pair, so no meaning to take risks so early in the race. I just ran my own race. I was actually really good, so I probably would have stayed in the car, but I had to run to the toilet, so that caution was really timely. So we're standing in the car now and see how we go. Pace is good, so we just got to stay where we are and be there at the end.
Yeah, well, I would have thought you guys would have run some sort of system to take care of toilet breaks, but anyway. How are you finding this race compared to the last one? This one looks, from what we're seeing, a lot more controlled than Road Atlanta was.
Yeah, it's better than Road Atlanta, but it's just difficult with HPDs, because the DPs are actually really hard to pass with the amount of straights that are around here, and so you're drag racing them half the time, and then you have to pray on them that they're going to let you brake a little earlier, so you can actually get them in the braking zone. So that's really the only way you can pass them. And GT3s, they're alright. It's just you got to be wary that I found in practice that GT3s around here have some trouble seeing you sometimes. So you just got to be predictable and just take your time and be patient and not take risks.
Yeah, I think that's the key to it, isn't it? Especially these long races, is to stay out of trouble. And looks like you've got your sister car just ahead of you, Reese Gardner behind the wheel. And there again, we saw last time their whole strategy was staying out of trouble. And I guess that's what you guys are trying to do again today.
Well, yeah, I think Reese ran a little bit of trouble early on, which he had a pretty bad understeer in the front, so he had to fight that for a lot of his first stint, which he should have really been up with me and Rogers, but he got tangled up in Innocent, so he'll be on the fight back now. I think he's back near us now, so it's actually probably worked out well.
Yeah, he's sitting right in front of you guys at the moment. So we've got the 100 in 3rd, you guys are in 4th, and you've got the 112 behind you, Jason Bentz, ABR simulated, so they're in 5th at this stage.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up, especially that last restart. That was absolutely mayhem with the amount of traffic that was in front of everyone. The TeamSpeak was blowing up pretty good with 2 spotters trying to spot 3 cars.
Oh, we were watching the restart coming into the bus stop there, and I'll tell you what, it looked like Sydney at peak hour, and cars were all over the shop there trying to get through, and of course Redback Racing got into the back of Josh Burden and spun him, and we think that's what might have brought out the safety car. Actually,
I was already out by then. That was actually after the yellow was called. So the yellow was called for another incident that I don't know what for.
Okay, yeah, I was correct me there. It was a GT3 car. One of the Tryhards cars were parked up against the fence, but Eric Kaluga was driving it, but we couldn't get the replay of how we ended up there.
Yeah, it was like about 10 DP cars and about 3 or 4 GT3 cars all bunched up, And then plus you got HPD guys trying to get through it on fresh tyres and stuff that I close my eyes and just pray that we all got through it.
Yeah, and it probably looks a hell of a lot worse when you're watching it than when you're in the car, because at least when you're in the car you've got some sort of control of what's going to unfold.
Yeah, definitely nice to watch it. And I think the restart will be much the same because there's a lot of cars in front of us again, so...
Yeah. Well, anyway, Scott, best of luck for the rest of the race, but before you go, give a shout out to your sponsors, because I'm expecting we're going to be going green here probably the next lap or two.
Yeah, I think we might be actually too, yeah. So I'd like to thank Daco, GT Omega Racing, T5 Engineering, Dynamic Sim Racing, Newlex Construction, and GTI Springs, and Adrian, you and Bernie for doing the broadcast today. Very good, and I'll sure chat to you later.
Yeah, no worries, mate. We'll enjoy your toilet break, and no doubt we'll speak to you later on.
Already done that, thank God, so I've got to go back in the spot now.
Fair enough. Alright, see you, mate.
So yeah.
So Adrian, before we go green, what's the viewers' comments? Are there any there that we need to go through?
Yeah, nothing too much there. Just a few guys wanting to know what the speak is for us to come up here and have a chat. If you're involved with the team or racing in this event, you should know where that is in the forum. So off you go and have a look. Not going to put it over the broadcast; they can find that themselves. So other than that, no, it's all right up there. I'm sure they're enjoying it. I know I am. It's definitely good racing today, and I'll tell you what, I'll give them a 90% over last week. Definitely a lot better than what they were racing last round for sure.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what's going to happen as soon as we go off air, they're all going to go mental again and get up to mischief, and then we're going to come back in a couple of hours and things are going to be completely different.
Yeah, once we go off air, we're not seeing it. It's fine. That's race control's problem, which I'm sure Scott will love hearing that from me, as per normal. But yeah, no, I'm sure it's going to change. Hopefully they don't. I think this quick repair thing they're starting to realise. Even at Road Atlanta, they didn't have it. I'm sure they didn't like the pacing they got from many different angles from that race. Let's not split hairs here. It was a bit atrocious with the driving, especially with the calibre of driving that's in here. I mean, yeah, sure, you're going to make a mistake, and it's going to, you're going to be undecided now and again. But that was probably the worst racing I've seen in this series, other than Daytona. But like Daytona, and I'm talking about Daytona, the first inaugural event there last year, which is something new for everyone. So you expect some sort of carnage in there, but I mean, nowadays with the amount of teams and organisation that goes into this series, you just think there should have been a lot better. And like I said, the racing is definitely improved this week, and it's good to see that they understand what it means to do endurance racing again.
Yeah, and I think you're right. As now we see Dave Oliver coming in. He was out of sequence, so he's had to bring that car into the pits. So we should be going green next time through, I would think. I'm just having a look if we can see the safety car. Yeah, the safety car lights are out at this stage. It's going to be an interesting restart, this, because we have our Class A leader behind quite a few Class B cars, and it looks like the 226 Evolution Racing Australia Corvette will actually take the green for the first time here.
Yeah, which is part of the safety car. It's not anything that race control can do with that. I mean, yeah, they could do wave rounds and what have you, but generally it's a safety car thing. And I think the team that pitted, which was the the boost juice entry, they were the leading car anyway. So if they pit, well, the next car in line takes the safety car, regardless of if a HPD comes up and takes first place. And if he's buried 20 cars down the field, well, that's where he's starting from. So nothing race control can do about that, and that's fair enough. It happens in real world racing, so this is what we've got. It makes for a little bit more entertaining racing, I suppose, and this is where safety car can either gain you or hurt you severely.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting thing here because the 226, according to my telemetry, a lap up on everyone in Class B now, and they're the last on the lead lap. So it's looking good for these guys at the moment. I'm sure they're going to drop back to the same lap once the race driver Class A comes through, but at the moment they're counted as one lap in front.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely helping looking at this car. Just got to check, but I believe they pitted early. Once again, you know, ERA onto it. They've pitted a little bit earlier than what's needed, and they got their car, done their pit stop, and the safety cars come out. And like I said, you know, everyone else in their class had to pit, so basically they got a one up, and once again, you know, it's helped them out. So they're in the box seat here at the moment. So just the strategy they're using is working, and it's. Can you say the luck of the safety car? Of course you can, and obviously you can have the disfortunate pleasure of losing out on the safety car. So doing a great job, and it's working out for these guys at the moment.
It certainly is. And second is Jason Gillespie, and then Cody Bird, both for All-Star Motorsports in Class B, so they're doing well. We're about to, safety car should be in. The 226, Blake Coppo, he will take the green, and we'll be back under racing here at Watkins Glen.
I'll come back here to the leader, actual leader 188, as we get the green flag. As you can see them spread out on the main straightaway, 3-4 wide again. These HBDs don't leave any prisoners as we're coming down into turn 1 with the 188. Oh, inside. Oh, he's hit the ripples. He slowed down there, and he's lucky he didn't get collected there from the C7. So just a little bit anxious there on the restart. And this is what's going to happen when you've got the leader buried in the pack.
Well, he's fighting it out with Reece Gardner at the moment as they go 2 wide. And now they're going 3 wide down the back straight here, and into the bus stop for the first time. And Reece Gardner looks like he's taken the lead here from the 188, and right behind him is Kurt Stenberg in the 101. So we've got all 3 of these guys nose to tail at the moment.
Yeah, just had the pick there, didn't he, Reece? Had that Corvette in the right position for him, where Josh was stuck behind that Corvette, so that's worked out well for him. But look, give nothing away. Josh is quite quick, and he's left the door open there for the 3rd place at the moment. Can he pop out there and get behind the... Yes, he does, so quite lucky there at the moment. They've got a bit of work here to get through these Corvettes because they are quite quick.
They certainly are. We're riding with Josh Rogers at the moment in the cockpit, just so you guys can see how busy these blokes are on these restarts, and how quick their reactions have to be to stay out of trouble.
We had a slow C7 there, just causing a little bit of issue as well. So off they go. They're going to get a bit of a break now. Look at Rogers go down. He shot out of that last corner like a madman, didn't he? He's into that corner and takes the lead again. So what an awesome bit of driving there from Rogers.
That was fantastic. I actually thought Reece Gardner had gone into the pits by how quickly Josh passed him, but no, he just got an awesome launch off that corner.
Yeah, that was mad, wasn't it? Got the run out of that last corner and took off and overtaking. 3 wide, getting in the bus stop back here with George Ween at the moment in the 233. So geez, there's still action going back here as the HPDs are trying to run through these Corvettes at the moment. So this safety car, the last two safety cars, really has mixed this racing up, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some more action happening. Oh yes, and there we are. Oh, we've got nearly over. Oh my God, Bernie, it was waiting to happen, wasn't it?
Certainly was, but that was Cody Bird in trouble there with their sister car, the 218, and they were running second and third in Class B, and his car is absolute toast. So let's jump back and have a look at this replay, because that's going to have big ramifications for Class B.
I think we've got another one that had an incident as well, just up at the toe. So that was Paul Keegan as well in the Tryhards Racing DP. So he's come unstuck as well. So this is just nuts stuff at the start. So what I was saying before, I think I'm going to have to throw that out the window, because these guys are getting a little bit loopy here.
Yeah, well, it's claimed the 217 here, and that car nearly went over. It looks like it might be a Tryhards car also involved in that incident, so it wasn't both all RAC Corp cars, but just look at the damage on that 217.
Yeah, just trying to get to these cars, it's just so full on. I was just seeing some others, and yes, it was crazy stuff. I knew there was something that was going to happen there. It just seemed so angry, but looks like the racing's still going on, so they're getting through, and no one's called for a tow, so they're driving these things back. They probably have a bit of room there, seeing it's just to start off a safety car, but yeah, that car's trash, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. He's having a lot of trouble there, just keeping it in a straight line, and again, he's trying to get it home. It's got a few corners to go, but it's all over the shop, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's got to park this car, which he's doing now as the leaders are going through, but he can't even drive it in a straight line at this point.
Yeah, this is where it's a little bit dangerous, doesn't it? This is something that you've really got to take a call here.
Yeah, well, he's parked it now just off the racing line as Josh Rogers puts in the fastest lap now. The question is he waiting to get these cars through, and then he's going to continue on his way? He's just inching a little bit, but at the moment, probably a wise move there to park it where he did, because he cannot drive it at this stage.
Yeah, they're definitely waiting for a gap, but it's going to be tough at the moment because this field is so spread, and hopefully by the time he gets to where he needs to, which is going to be hard, it's just a tough pit lane entry, isn't it? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he can make it into pit lane with the gaps that's going on at the moment.
Yeah, well, the problem is he's got to go right over onto the racing line as he does now, and he nearly hits a fence. He does hit the fence, and that's just because the car's absolutely toast. But he's got it in now, so can he get in the way he's driving it? It's, hopefully he can get it in. He does, and he'll get that car serviced. But he's going to be in there for a while.
Yeah, it certainly is. Bit of bad luck. A bit of a situation. It was getting angry, but no safety car. Would you believe? No safety car. So still racing. This might help a little bit get this racing under control and boys settle down. That was a little bit hectic there, wasn't it? So yeah, a little bit aggro in there. I don't think anyone learnt a lesson there, and sometimes it's usually the innocent that get caught out in that, but you know, it is racing, and I think guys will learn eventually. My opinion is probably swifted back to where I was at last race or last round there.
We've got a GT3 parked on the side of the road there, coming into the S's there out of turn 1, so that may have ramifications. It wasn't moving as the race leader went through, but at the moment Josh Rogers is leading Reece Gardner by 4 seconds. Third then, 2 seconds down the track, is Kurt Stenberg, 101. Fourth is the 112 simulated entry, And then your top 5 in Class A is Tryhards Racing HPD2 with Jack Baker driving that car.
Yeah, that car that's parked at the moment is Stuart Dillon, Tryhards Racing 2333. So I'm just going to see what happened to him. He's been sitting there for a bit. It's not like he's been there. Oh, there's been contact, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go through this, but definitely car number 233 there, Benny. If you can go to the replay, that's going to be interesting. Wonder why the safety car hasn't been called, or there's been chat to see if they can get removed.
Yeah, well, he's actually come out of the pits. I think he's had that car repaired, but he's brought it out, and it's actually crabbing out of the pits. So he's bringing it out onto the track now on the replay, and he's decided that car cannot be driven. Oh, and he's actually hit another car, and HPD's gone into the fence, and then he's had to park it. So yeah, a bit messy there for Tryhards Racing.
Yeah, certainly is, because that HPD that hit him was actually a Tryhards Racing 133 as well. So there'll be a few discussions going on there in their team at the moment. That wouldn't be going down too well.
No, and the last time we saw a HPD run into a Corvette for Tryhards was at Daytona, and remember that bizarre incident where the driver had got out of the car or something, and the car wasn't basically in control, and it ran down pit lane back onto the track and took out their sister car. So that was a bit similar to that, I think.
Yeah, and this is a bit unusual. I cannot get... Oh, there we are. He's back there, so I haven't... Oh, he come off track, disappeared, so I'm not sure that team may get a penalty for that too, because I can't see him unless he's disconnected, but can't see anything come up on my screen, so it might be a penalty for that team as well.
Yeah, well, he's escaped out of the car and it's back sitting in the pits at the moment, but I'd say they've tried to repair that car, brought it out, and it's just not drivable. So I wouldn't be surprised if that car is retired. Also, another car under investigation, the 217 All-Star Motorsport. We saw that car in all sorts of trouble for causing contact with the 233. So they're being investigated. ABR simulated the 112. They have been protested against for barging. So race control will be looking at that as well.
Yeah, so a lot of action here in the last few minutes, hasn't there? So clock's winding down for us at the moment here in TV land at the moment. So our time is just about done, and the boys are getting a little bit anxious here. They've been really good for the first hour and a half, but they're starting to get it a little bit messy around here at the moment.
Yeah, you can definitely feel the temperature changing, can't you, as drivers are starting to get a bit more aggressive. But before we do go, I think we should have an interview. We've got a few guys down there. We've got Mike Koroloff for the 288. We'll bring him up and have a chat. And then we'll bring Scott Kozlowski up from the 217 All-Star Motorsports and have a chat with him over that last incident. But did you want to have a chat with Mike?
Yeah, bring Mike up, it's fine. I just can't see his number on there unless it's supposed to be someone else.
I'm just having a look through there. It's got the 288 up, so hopefully we're not going to get spammed or something. I'll have the eject button on just in case, alright?
Yeah, no worries. Bring Mike up. Hey Mike, welcome to the RRTV booth. Just want to get your number there. You got 288, but nothing's up on the race score at the moment, mate.
Yeah, that's correct. We weren't able to start.
Okay, D. So not being able to start was a bit of a shame for yourself. Looks like we've lost our other interviewer there, Bernie. But yeah, so not being able to start, a bit of a drama with the team.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had some computer issues, and our second driver, he has to work today, so I usually do the early stints that he can do as the last ones. And for some reason, my computer doesn't want to turn on. It has power, it has all sorts of things, but hit the start button and it's nothing. So trying to pull out graphics cards and RAM and all sorts of stuff and refit them back in, which I have done once before, and it all worked out okay. But then, yeah, no, absolutely nothing. So I was frantically trying to make something happen, but yeah, no go.
Yeah, fair enough. So you're jumping on and watching the broadcast, yeah, mate?
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been trying to find your password. Eventually I've come up with it, so yeah, no, I'm enjoying the broadcast, watching it all going on. There's some interesting things happening out there, isn't there?
Yeah, the boys, I know I gave them a spray last round, but I thought they'd settle down a bit, but it looks like they're getting back into the old ways again, so I'm not going to be gentle on them for sure. I've had my views last round, and I'm going to give my views again if I think that's where they're going.
Look, Adrian, I can't blame you there at all. You know, there is coming from racing with the C7. You know, you've got faster cars coming at you with the LMP2s and slower cars that you're negotiating through with the GT3 cars. And I noted in your commentary a little bit earlier on, you were on board with Josh Rogers and you were watching him, and yet lap time suffered a little bit, but the caution of the show was appropriate for the right place that he was in. He waited, and just for those few seconds, and safely negotiating the cars he was going to pass, and you know, he's out in the front of the race. He's leading cleanly and comfortably, isn't he? And that's the sort of thing that guys just, they get this racer's head in them, and they've just got to go for any gap that's there. Whether, you know, sometimes you just got to lift off, slow down, and trundle through the corner at a GT3 pace or a C7 pace for these guys up front. Wait for the opportunity and just pull out and drive around them. And look, that Josh is out front and doing a great job.
Yeah, you're certainly quite. I think a lot of guys forget that they're in an endurance race. I mean, whether it's a 4-hour or a 24-hour race, it's still an endurance, and you got to be in there for the end of the. You got to buy your ticket for the last half an hour in this race, because it is down to the last half an hour now. It's not an hour. The boys are using different strategy, which we're seeing at the moment. There's the ERA guys there in their C7. They're using a bit of different strategy, which has put them up in the first position for their car at the moment. So yeah, it's all about patience, and I think the last round I got a little bit tired of seeing silly moves which didn't need to be happening. Road Atlanta is not a place where you can overtake normally on other tracks. Yeah, sure, here at Watkins Glen you've got a little bit of room, but any mistake you can obviously going to end in disaster quite quickly, just like Road Atlanta.
Yeah, look, very much so, and this is where guys just they just don't realise, but in the real world that is really what you have to do, and you're going to come across slower cars, you're going to have faster cars coming at you, and it's a little bit of situational awareness. It's where you are, what your car can do, and judging whether the gap is there to make the pass or not, and do it safely. It's I mean, I didn't participate in the Road Atlanta round, but certainly back at Monza, we drove around all day, and we were not the fastest car by a long shot. We were at the back of the DP list, qualified, you know, second or so slower than everybody else, and yet we finished around 5th place because there were just so many guys throwing it off the road, damaging the car, and that was with quick repairs. There were several cars, I think there were 2 or 3 cars that came back at us at the end of the race, and I did have a spin in an accident myself, but we just kept rotating, just kept going round and round and round and round. We didn't cloud anybody. You know, like I said, silly mistake. Had a penalty for saying sorry at some stage, which was a bit of an accidental bump of a button as I was moving hands around. But you know, we were up there in 5th place, and just because we didn't hit anyone, we were the slowest car. So these guys you've just got to get your head around that idea that not every lap is a qualifying lap. Find the pace that you can run comfortably at that keeps you rotating, gets you make smart decisions or safe decisions when it comes to pitting for fuel, You can take risky strategies sometimes, and if you've got guys sitting there working it out and so forth, by all means go ahead and do it. But when you're on that track and you've got other cars around you, look, you get blue flags for faster cars coming up behind you. You see yellow flags pop up for cars that are off the track somewhere, and you've got to get your head around that and drive accordingly for it.
Yeah, sorry Mike, Bertie, you want to jump in there if car number 112 there had an issue?
Yeah, we're under yellow again, guys, and that was the 112 that was in trouble. I was just trying to find the telemetry to find the incident that caused it, but unfortunately I haven't been able to do it as yet.
Yeah, which is going to be our issue, viewers. It's just the stuff that we're getting from iRacing. Sometimes we'll get it, sometimes we won't. So we'll do our best as normal, but yeah, it's just one of those things that when we're getting this information, it's just like getting that code. We can either get it or we don't. So it's just a bit of an issue. But I did see there, Bernie, it was getting a little bit messy. Guys were slowing down. As soon as they see that yellow flag, they're slowing down. I think the best thing they do, they've just got to keep racing until they catch up to the safety car. Otherwise there's going to be issues. We're going to have more incidents under yellow like we've seen earlier, so guys are going to be aware of that. But well Mike, we're going to let you go. We've got Scott down there as well from 217, which was caught in an incident earlier, but we do appreciate you guys coming up here. Unfortunate that you've got technical issues there at home, and hopefully we can get it sorted and we'll see you back next round in the AC. Muzzle, if you've got a plug there, give a plug out, and hopefully we'll see you on track next time.
Thanks a lot, Adrian and Bernie. Again, great broadcast that you guys put on, and thanks for doing it. No real plugs. If I say V8 Scops, I could get in trouble because it's a competing series, but no, I won't say anything. No, it's just it's a real shame not to be out on circuit. I'd like to be there, and I think we're heading off to Lamore, so in the next round. I think that's not Lamore, North Schleif's the next one. So hopefully I'll be back for that, and racing. But there's a replay coming up, so I'll let that go.
Yeah, cheers. Unfortunately again that you couldn't race today, but I'm sure we'll be out there and see you putting around. Do apologise not seeing your car out there. It's one of those things. Thanks for putting your number up there. It does help when your car's out on track.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Thanks for having me in the booth, and keep up the good work. I'll be watching for the rest of the evening.
Cheers, buddy.
Yes, unfortunately I can't get a replay of that, folks, but it was the 112, which was the simulated entry. They were running about 4th in class up until that yellow, so we saw them before in heavy traffic, so I can only assume that that's played a part in that incident.
Yeah, I'll try and have a look, see what I can see out of that, Benny. Obviously the viewers aren't going to see what I see, but I might be able to have a look to see what happened to them, and I might give a quick rundown before we nick off out of here while you have a chat with Scott.
Yeah, not a problem. Hi Scott, welcome to RRTV's Combox, and bad luck, it looks like your car's in a fair bit of trouble. We did see the replay of that, and it looked pretty nasty.
Yeah, g'day lads. A bit disappointed to be up here so early, but we were trucking along rather well. We were I think in 2 and 3 ASM line astern, and just got caught up in a bit of post-safety car shenanigans with some lapped cars that the same sort of lap cars seem to keep finding themselves in the battles, and we with the meat between the sandwich there a little bit.
Yeah, well, you went heavily into the barrier there, and it looks like that car has very heavy suspension damage. At first I was really worried because I thought you might have come in contact with the 218, but that was my mistake. It was another C7. So what's the plan? Are you guys going to try and get this car repaired and back out?
Yeah, no, we luckily kept the 218 out of. He was out of trouble there, which is good because they're still in a strong position. I think we an ERA car might have got caught up there, who was probably battling for the win. So that's unfortunate for those guys. But our car 217 was really in. We worked out pretty early. We weren't in in it for the win this week. We were sort of had a plan to circulate and try and keep out of trouble. We didn't have the best pace, not the best setup, so just see if we can do some laps, and then we've been caught up there. So our car will finish the repairs, and we'll try and have some fun tonight. See if we can make up any spots, but we're a fair way down. I think we had about 16 minutes of required repairs, so that's not even looking at getting the car square. So yeah, it's over and out for us, but we'll try and keep out of trouble, have some fun tonight.
Yeah, it's a real shame because that car, even though you were trying to stay out of trouble, you were in the top 4 there and looking quite strong, so bad luck on that. But at least the 218's still out there. Jason Gillespie's in that car at the moment, and I'm just having a look. They look like they're second in class at the moment, so let's hope those guys can continue waving the flag there for All Star Motorsports.
Yeah, that's right. We both our cars actually got a really good jump. I think on the second or third safety car there, one where it was a bit hectic. Both our cars, it was like the heavens opened for us, and other C7s in front of us were getting balked by GT3 cars, and we just drove straight around the outside of them. So we went from about 4th and 5th up to the head of the field, which was got us a bit excited in our team speed.
Yeah, I bet you it did, but before we let you go, Scott, did you want to give a shout out to all your sponsors that are backing All Star Motorsports?
Yeah, just the usual guys, Case Centric and Rat Corp, and just the boys that we race with. You know, we're not the fastest guys out there, but we put in the hard yards, and we try and we probably punch above our weight division there most of the time. So yeah, just a shout out to the guys that we race with. Yeah,
no worries. Well, thanks for popping in, Scott. Bad luck on what's transpired on the 217, but hopefully we'll see that car out later on this evening.
No worries, let's have a good call.
So that was Scott Kozlowski from All Star Motorsports, but before we go, folks, let's go through the top 5 of each class. So at the moment in Class A, that's being led by Dayco Motorsports, Reece Gardner in the 100, well actually sorry, Team TTL is leading the race with Josh Rogers behind the wheel of that car, and then we have the 100 of Dayco Motorsports right behind them. Kurt Stenberg in the 101, Dayco Motorsports is sitting in 3rd at the moment, and again right behind the 2 leaders of Class A. Then we have the 137 Team TDR, Colin Schweck driving that car in 4th, and then 5th is the 132 Tryhards Racing HPD2, and that has Jack Baker driving that car at the moment. Looking at Class B, Blake Coppo is leading that for Australian Evolution Racing Australia in the 226. He has pretty much driven that car from the start of this race. Then we have the 218 All-Star Motorsports with Jason Gillespie behind the wheel in 2nd, followed by the 200 Synergy Sim Racing. Michael Schreier again is driving that car and has been since the start of this race. Then in 4th we have Ian Ford in Evolution Racing Australia 223, followed by Jay Boving in the 205 Crossy Demon Racing. So that's your top 5 in Class B. Looking at Class C, we have ANZ Motorsport leading that in the Audi, Jared Fulsell driving that car at the moment, followed by Matt Trotman for Delta Simsport in 2nd. Then in 3rd in Class C is Nathan Hapatz in another Audi, Selby Racing Team. So we have Audi 1, 2 and 3 in Class C. Then in 4th, James Stevenson from AdCar Racing, they in their BMW, and then rounding out your top 5 in Class C is G&T Racing in another BMW. So Audis are looking strong there, Adrian, but the Mercs aren't looking like they've got the pace here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, they're not looking very strong, are they? Audis have definitely got the pace here again, and the only BMW I see there at the moment is the Mad Cow. Swift Racing is sitting there in 6th. in class, so not doing too bad. Obviously, with the safety cars and been racing now for just over 2 hours and 10 minutes, so not doing too bad at the moment.
Yeah, not doing too bad at all. The first of the Mercedes runners is iRacing, and they're sitting at about 8th in class at the moment, but all the cars in front of them are either Audi or BMW, and it's looking like the Audis are strongest at the moment in that class.
Yeah, for sure, they definitely are at the moment. And, top 3 are Audis, and the next 3 are BMWs. We've got an Audi then after that, and a couple of Mercs. So yeah, it's one of those situations at the moment. The track is really certain a type of car.
Yeah, it certainly is. But folks, we've run probably 20 minutes over our first part of this broadcast, so we're going to have a break so we can go and have some tea. But we will definitely be back tonight from 7 p.m. to cover the last 2 hours of this race plus interviews. So definitely join us again tonight when we bring you the closing parts of this race. But before we go, Adrian, any final thoughts on part 1? And are there any drivers you need to lecture at this point in time?
Look, I think the start was fantastic. I think the last 30 minutes or so have been a little bit sad. I think the boys have forgotten where they are and what they're doing. Like I said, I'm not going to hold back anymore. These guys should know what they're doing by now. It's not something that they haven't done before. They definitely know what they need to do. Race control's in the same mind. They're cutting back their quick repairs, so it's going to cost them if they do anything silly. So let's hope that they get themselves together and understand that this is a long race. They've still got hours to go to get to the end. So let's hope they can improve, and we'll see where they end up. They're doing all right, and I just hope they sort themselves out while they're away. There's not too many more safety cars because we've had a number in the last half an hour or so.
Yeah, they're definitely on the increase, aren't they? And there's quite a lot of cars out there that aren't out there that are sitting in the pits that are in trouble. And I'd expect we'll see quite a few retirements by the time we come back here tonight at 7 p.m. Just a few notes here before we do go, folks. The 112 for causing contact with 399 has been issued a drive-through. The 112 is the reason the safety car's out, and that's sitting in the pits trying to be repaired at this stage. 368 also for contact with the 355 has been issued a drive-through plus maximum pit time plus 60 seconds hold for careless driving in that incident. The 118 Redback Racing team, they're under investigation for contact with the 104 careless driving. We saw that in the bus stop, and also so that's the incidents that are under investigation at this stage. But folks, we will be back at 7 o'clock tonight. Hopefully the guys will have settled down a bit, and we'll be in for some good racing. But on behalf of Adrian Jarvis, I'm Bernie Weemers. Thanks for tuning in, and definitely come back at 7 o'clock tonight for the last 2 hours of the Watkins Glen 6hr.